Welcome back to the Everyday Podcast, everyone. It's Tuesday, which means here on the show, we explore the secrets of psychology, health, and personal development to help you reach your full potential.
And today, we're diving into a topic it's generated a lot of buzz, fasting, but we're not just looking at it as, a weight loss tool. We're going to explore how it can profoundly impact your overall health. Everything from chronic diseases to cognitive function and even, your mood.
That's right. Our mission today is really to unpack some fascinating insights from Dr. Alan Goldhammer. He's a pioneering physician, spent 4 decades studying medically supervised water-only fasting, a huge amount of work.
Right.
And he brings this wealth of research and real-world experiences. It's kind of a shortcut to understanding the proven benefits and the science behind this, ancient healing tool. So get ready for some aha moments that might just change how you think about food and your body.
Definitely some potential paradigm shifts here.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Many people think of fasting purely for, shedding a few pounds.
Right, the usual focus.
But Dr. Goldhammer's work reveals it's far more impactful. What are some of the major health benefits he highlights beyond weight loss?
Absolutely. I mean, he describes fasting as potentially the most effective treatment that's ever been shown for certain conditions.
Wow.
Things like high blood pressure, which is, the leading cause of death and disability. And it also significantly reduces insulin resistance, enhances cognitive capacities, and it's shown effects on things like depression and anxiety. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Beyond just weight loss, fasting mobilizes visceral fat.
Okay, explain that. Visceral fat.
That's the dangerous fat, the stuff around your belly and organs. It's not just sitting there. It gives off inflammatory products.
So it's actively harmful.
Exactly, contributing to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, all the big ones.
So it's not just about looking better. It's like addressing the root causes of major illnesses. He even states that the chemical changes seen with exercise, like increasing BDNF, that brain chemical.
Right, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
Yeah, that protects the brain from Alzheimer's. Those changes also happen with fasting. That's not intuitively obvious. You're resting, not running a marathon.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Dr. Goldhammer argues that we live in a world basically designed to make us fat, sick, and miserable. I mean, 76% of people overweight or obese.
It's staggering.
And he really challenges this notion that health only comes from, pills, potions, and powders, emphasizing our sort of collective ignorance of fasting's proven benefits.
That's a powerful claim.
Wow.
Okay, let's get into the mechanics then. What actually happens inside our bodies when we stop eating for an extended period? Like, what's the biological play-by-play?
Well, normally your brain primarily burns glucose, right? Which comes from food.
Okay.
But after about 24 hours of fasting, give or take, your glycogen stores, those are your sugar reserves in muscles and liver, they get depleted.
Used up.
Used up. And at this point, the body makes this really remarkable physiological adaptation. It switches the brain's primary fuel source from glucose to fat. Specifically, it starts producing ketones.
Ketones. I've heard that term, like with keto diets.
Exactly, like beta-hydroxybutyric acid or BHB, that becomes a major fuel.
So our bodies have this kind of evolutionary switch built in for survival.
Exactly that. I mean, think about it. Given our disproportionately large brains, which need a lot of energy,
All right.
this adaptation was crucial for our ancient ancestors. If the hunt failed or the berries weren't ripe, a 70-kilogram male, for instance, could theoretically fast for about 70 days just using stored fat.
70 days. Wow.
Yeah. This shift to burning fat is what prevents starvation. And a key benefit, circling back, is that higher beta-hydroxybutyric acid levels lead to more BDNF production.
BDNF, okay, that brain protective neurochemical you mentioned. So this isn't just about weight loss or survival energy. It's actively boosting brain health, too.
Indeed. BDNF protects the brain from oxidative damage, potentially warding off Alzheimer's disease and dementia, much like exercise does.
It's fascinating how fasting, which feels like doing nothing, like resting, can mirror the benefits of vigorous activity.
It is fascinating because both, in their own way, undo the consequences of dietary excess. They reduce that visceral fat and the inflammation it causes.
Right. And I've heard the term autophagy floating around. What is that exactly? Sounds complex.
Autophagy or autophagia. It's basically the body's internal housekeeping process.
Right.
Think of it as cellular spring cleaning.
Okay, like decluttering.
Exactly. It's how your body gets rid of old, damaged cells, senescent cells, waste products, misfolded proteins, even potentially cancerous cells. It's essentially eating up cellular debris.
And fasting boosts this.
Dramatically. Fasting significantly increases autophagy. Studies on rodents show that periodic fasting can increase their lifespan by like 30% to even 100%.
100%, that's huge.
It is. Though Dr. Goldhammer puts a spin on it. He suggests maybe it's not that fasting doubles lifespan, but that, quote, overfeeding cuts it in half.
Whoa, that's quite a perspective shift. That overeating is actively shortening our lives. You mentioned earlier that our world is designed to make us fat, sick, and miserable. How does that actually happen? What role do these satiety mechanisms play, the fullness signals?
Well, it's just very, very difficult to avoid dietary excess in today's environment. It's everywhere. And our satiety mechanisms, those signals that tell us we're full, they're constantly being fooled, essentially hijacked.
Hijacked.
By what? By chemicals, specifically things like salt, oil, and sugar. Dr. Goldhammer calls them SOS, like the international symbol of danger.
Salt, oil, sugar.
Okay.
Because they are hyper-concentrated components added to food, they aren't really food in the whole sense.
So it's not just about the calories themselves, but what's in our food triggering things.
Precisely. These SOS chemicals stimulate more dopamine in the brain than whole natural foods do. This creates what he calls a pleasure trap. A pleasure trap.
Okay. Our brains evolved in scarcity, right? Where richer, calorie-dense food meant survival, high value.
Made sense back then.
Totally. But now we have unlimited access to these hyper-concentrated dopamine-spiking foods. So we overeat, constantly chasing that pleasure hit, often without feeling truly satisfied nutritionally. And this constant dietary excess leads directly to accumulating that visceral fat we talked about.
Which acts like an inflammatory source.
Exactly, like a little pro-inflammatory tumor, driving conditions like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, autoimmune diseases. These were the diseases of kings once upon a time.
Because only kings could afford to overeat constantly.
Right. And now they're common conditions because dietary excess is common.
Okay, so if dietary excess, driven by this SOS pleasure trap, is the core problem, is fasting the main solution? And what kinds of fasting are we talking about? Are they all the same? Is it for everyone?
Good questions. And no, they aren't all the same. Dr. Goldhammer is quite clear in distinguishing between different approaches. So first, there's what most people think of now, intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding.
Like the 16.8 window.
Exactly. Or even just not eating 3 to 4 hours before bed. That naturally gives you about a 12-hour fast overnight. Extending that to 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating can really help limit overeating, especially that, evening snacking driven by boredom or fatigue, not real hunger.
Right. Makes sense. What else?
Then there's juice fasting. Now, he clarifies this isn't technically fasting because you are consuming calories.
Oh, okay. So it's more like a liquid diet.
Pretty much. A modified form of eating, often high in sugar, low in fiber. So while it's less impactful for, say, deep detoxification compared to water fasting, it can be a useful transition step for people trying to break away from really highly processed diets. And it can generally be done safely at home.
A stepping stone, maybe?
Could be. Then you have the most profound approach. Water-only fasting.
Just water, nothing else.
Just purified water. Complete abstinence from everything else, ideally in an environment of complete rest. His clinic supervises these fasts typically from 5 days up to 40 days. Though 40 days is pretty rare, maybe 1% of patients.
Okay, that definitely sounds like something needing supervision.
Absolutely critical. Strict medical supervision. They monitor electrolytes, blood work, everything very closely. And crucially, there's a very careful refeeding protocol afterward. This can last half the length of the fast itself.
Refeeding, why is that so important?
To avoid serious, potentially dangerous complications like refeeding syndrome. Reintroducing food too quickly after prolonged fasting can shock the system.
Got it. So it's a whole controlled process.
Very controlled. And the goal isn't just the fast, it's to transition the person afterwards to a sustainable, healthy diet, ideally what he recommends. A whole plant food, SOS-free diet.
That sounds like a very intense intervention. What kind of conditions actually respond well to these supervised water-only fasts? The results must be significant for people to undertake that.
The results Dr. Goldhammer shares are, frankly, remarkable. Take high blood pressure. In studies at his clinic, like one with 174 consecutive patients, they normalized their blood pressure without medication. through fasting and diet change.
Without meds, that's huge.
Huge. Another study, 26 out of 27 patients achieved normal blood pressure. And importantly, 76% of them maintained it a year later by sticking to the healthy diet.
So the change can stick if the lifestyle sticks.
That's the key. Fasting also significantly reduces insulin resistance. Many type 2 diabetics manage to normalize their blood sugar, again, without medication.
Wow. What about conditions maybe less obviously linked to diet?
Yeah.
I know many women struggle with PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. Does fasting help there?
Yes, he reports that PCOS consistently responds well to fasting.
How?
Well, PCOS is often associated with excess estradiol hormones. Your gut microbiome and your liver function are key in breaking down these excess hormones. Fasting profoundly affects both the gut and the liver, leading to significant hormonal shifts, often normalizing menstrual cycles, and even aiding fertility in some cases.
That's fascinating. Any other surprising examples?
There are some really impressive case studies involving lymphoma.
Cancer.
Yes. One woman, given very grim prognosis for her lymphoma, saw her tumors completely disappear after a 3-week supervised fast.
Disappear.
Gone. And she remained cancer-free for 10 years by sticking rigorously to that whole plant food SOS-free diet. Another case, a gentleman with stage 4 metastasized lymphoma who had already failed chemotherapy. He underwent a 39-day fast and saw dramatic improvement.
That's almost hard to believe, but it sounds like it's an intervention, a powerful tool, not necessarily a cure in the way we usually think of it, like if you go back to old habits.
Exactly right. He's very, very clear on this. You can normalize blood pressure, you can resolve a tumor, but if you return to the behaviors, the diet and lifestyle that caused the problem in the first place, the problem will likely return.
Makes sense. Health isn't a one-time fix.
No. The concept of a cure can be misleading. It's about managing the underlying causes, changing the conditions that allow the disease to develop. Fasting is used as this powerful reboot or reset.
A reboot that hopefully motivates and enables that long-term, healthful living.
That's the goal.
That's genuinely incredible, seeing the body's innate capacity for healing when given the chance. Beyond these major disease reversals and, the fat loss, what other, maybe less talked about benefits emerge from fasting? Especially thinking about like cognitive function or even just our relationship with food.
Yeah, there are definitely other key benefits. One is enhanced cognitive performance.
How does that work?
Well, when you're in a fasted state or even on a well-managed ketogenic diet, your blood sugar and insulin levels become very stable. You get off that sugar roller coaster.
No more mid-afternoon brain fog after lunch.
Exactly. That stability seems to interfere less with cognitive function. It helps you think more clearly, articulate better, maintain focus. It might not be that ketones make you inherently smarter, but maybe that the typical Western diet's fluctuations hinder optimal brain function.
Interesting. And I've heard people say that after fasting, their cravings completely change. Is that real?
Oh, absolutely. It's a phenomenon called taste neuroadaptation.
Taste neuroadaptation.
After fasting, simple whole plant foods things without added salt, oil, or sugar, they start to taste incredibly delicious. Your palate literally recalibrates.
So broccoli actually starts tasting good.
It really can. And the longer you eat these whole foods, the better they taste. It makes it so much easier to prefer healthful foods over the processed stuff because your brain's reward system adjusts.
That alone sounds worth it. He also touches on some other physiological shifts, right? Beyond just fat loss.
Yes, definitely. There's a significant naturopathic effect. Naturopathic meaning like promoting self-healing. The body sheds excess sodium and accumulated fluid, which directly helps reduce hypertension.
Like a natural diuretic effect?
Sort of, yeah. It also aids in detoxification, mobilizing hundreds of stored chemicals, PCBs, dioxins, heavy metals that build up in our tissues, often concentrated from animal foods in the food chain.
Stuff we don't want hanging around.
Exactly. And maybe most fundamentally, fasting profoundly helps rebalance the autonomic nervous system.
The automatic stuff, like breathing, heart rate.
Yeah, your body's control panel for all the automatic functions. Think of it like this. Many of us are stuck in fight or flight mode from chronic stress, poor diet, etc. Fasting helps shift the balance back towards the rest and digest or parasympathetic state. This promotes overall healing and balance.
Like hitting a system reset button.
That's a great way to put it. Many healing systems aim to do that, and fasting seems to be a very powerful, innate way the body can do it itself.
So with all these benefits, is this primarily for people who are already dealing with serious health issues? Or can people who consider themselves generally healthy benefit too, maybe preventatively?
This is a really critical point he makes. Counterintuitively, perhaps, Dr. Goldhammer found that proportionally, healthy people often get the most benefit from fasting, especially preventatively.
How so?
Because many people who think they're healthy by conventional standards might actually have higher levels of that inflammatory visceral fat or subtle metabolic issues than they realize. They might be heading towards problems without obvious symptoms yet.
So it's like heading things off at the pass.
Exactly. For generally healthy individuals, he recommends a simple 12-hour fast every day, basically. Stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bed, allow 8 to 9 hours sleep rest, easy, and then perhaps an annual medically supervised 1-week water fast.
A week once a year. What would that achieve for someone healthy?
It acts as that deeper reset. It helps recalibrate their palate, reboot their gut microbiome, enhance cognitive function, improve mood states, clear out some cellular debris through autophagy. It's like preventative maintenance for the body, potentially extending their health span the years they live in good health.
Health span, not just lifespan. That's key. Wow, this has been a really eye-opening exploration. If you had to distill it down, what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners from Dr. Goldhammer's 4 decades of work in this area?
I think he believes one of the biggest misunderstandings, maybe even lies, that ruins most people's health trajectory is thinking that health primarily comes from external things, pills, potions, powders, and treatments,
Instead from within.
instead of from healthful living itself. Health, he insists, is the direct result of your choices regarding diet, sleep, and exercise. Simple, but not easy. It really comes down to delayed gratification, doing what you know you should do for long-term benefits, rather than just chasing short-term pleasure, especially with food. He talks about the importance of honesty, integrity, and intelligence in our own health decisions. Basically, telling ourselves the truth, doing the right thing based on that truth, and doing it effectively.
Powerful stuff. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Perhaps it's a call to consider how your body's own ancient innate capabilities might be a key to unlocking your own health potential. What personal reboot might be waiting for you just by tapping into this capacity for healing that Dr. Goldhammer describes?
And just a reminder, while this information is really compelling, especially regarding the extended water fasting, medical supervision is absolutely crucial for anything beyond basic intermittent fasting. Dr. Goldhammer actually offers free phone consultations through his True North Health Center website, and he's written a book, The Pleasure Trap, and another called Can Fasting Save Your Life, for anyone curious to learn more safely.
Great resources. Well, thank you for joining us today on the Everyday Podcast. We really hope this discussion has given you some profound insights into optimizing your health and really unlocking your full potential. Join us again tomorrow when we'll be shifting gears to explore the world of money and investments, aiming to help you build financial well-being. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming explorations.